What is up, everyone? So most cloud mining content out there falls into one of two categories, either too technical for a general audience or just someone getting paid to say nice things about a project. Neither is particularly useful. Been doing this for a few years now, tested a lot of platforms, and at some point just developed a natural feel for what's worth running and what isn't. So today's going to be a walkthrough of how cloud mining actually functions in practice, using something I've personally had active for close to a year. And then before wrapping up, going to go through a couple of things that consistently separate legitimate platforms from everything else. But first thing I always look at is how configuration is handled. It sounds minor, but it's actually a pretty reliable indicator of how much thought went into the product overall. So picking a token first, what's worth mentioning here is that it runs on multi-chain architecture, meaning no dependency on a specific network or current market conditions. Just pick whatever token makes sense and move forward. And Bitcoin's the obvious choice right now given where things are, so continuing from there. Next is the receiving address. Copy and paste in Bitcoin address, nothing complicated. Then hash rate power comes up. So this essentially determines how much raw compute gets directed toward the session. More allocation, more potential throughput. After that is mining speed, and this one controls the actual intensity of the load hitting the remote hardware. Higher setting means more efficient output, but it also shifts the final numbers, so not something to just max out without thinking. Always worth a few seconds of consideration here. Target amount is next, so basically the token volume I'm aiming to pull from this particular session. Once that's in, quick review of everything. Address, hash rate, speed, target, all looks correct, so hitting start. And it's running. So one thing that genuinely stands out here is the dashboard. Real-time data across the board. Load, time, projected result, all visible without having to navigate anywhere. And honestly, that level of visibility just isn't standard across the space. Okay, so stopping the session. Final reports up, total time, shares count, active algorithm, and the infrastructure charge breakdown, clean and readable. Now for the payout, there's two paths. Wallet Connect, which routes everything through a smart contract automatically, or manual transfer. And the protocol route is just faster, removes unnecessary steps, so going with manual. Transaction is out, so verification and delivery to my address should take a few minutes. Good moment to step back and talk about what cloud mining actually is at a foundational level. So the concept is straightforward. Instead of owning and operating physical mining hardware, the computational work happens on remote infrastructure and the output comes straight to the wallet. And in 2026, that model makes more practical sense than it ever has. Equipment costs are significant. Energy prices haven't moved anywhere useful. And maintaining a rig requires ongoing attention most people just don't have. Cloud mining removes all of that friction, and relative to other on-chain strategies like staking, it's more transparent, mechanics are visible at every step, and the output is tied directly to real processing activity. That's a meaningful difference. So to close out on this platform specifically, it's held up consistently. Several months of active testing, constant configuration changes, and the output matched expectations every single time. Withdrawals processed cleanly, no friction anywhere in the workflow. This thing has been on the market long enough to have a real track record, and compared to most of what's out there, it shows. That's genuinely not something I can say about the majority of platforms that come through for testing. Anyway, appreciate the time. Hope this gave a clear picture of how this works.